Hi everybody, it's Richard here again and welcome to another video. Now this is my spotlight on Bow Wow Wow, a band that were only active from 1980 to 1983, and it consisted of Matthew Ashman on guitar, who unfortunately died in 1995, Dave Barbarossa on drums and Lee Gorman on bass. Now they did have a singer, but I'll come to her in a little minute. How they came about was Malcolm McLaren saw these guys here, Adam and the Ants, and it was a little bit of a topsy-turvy thing, an arse about face, where they usually say you're a great singer but ditch the band. He said you're a great band but ditch the singer, so he took the Ants away and formed Bow Wow Wow. So they needed a lead singer, and a guy called Dave Fishel, who was a bit of a scout for McLaren, saw this girl. She was only 13 years old, singing in a laundrette, and said she is the one, and that was Annabella. So Annabella joined up with Bow Wow Wow, and Malcolm McLaren also added a second singer, a guy called Lieutenant Lush. Now you probably recognise him as Boy George. So Boy George was actually in Bow Wow Wow for a very short period of time. I don't think he made any recordings with them, but apparently him and Annabella didn't get on too well and he left. So the first release for Bow Wow Wow was actually a cassette single called C30, C60, C90 Go. Now I don't have any cassettes, so I can't show it. Yeah, it's a really good song. It's a bit clunky with the verses, but whenever the guitar comes in with the chorus, it's actually really good. It was produced by Malcolm McLaren. And then a mini album came out also on cassette called Your Cassette Pet. I don't have that either, as you can see, but I do have those on vinyl, which I'll show in a minute or two. And the C30, C60, C90 Go, they were all released on EMI, but they didn't actually promote it because the song itself was promoting home taping, and as we all remember, home taping kills music. The single, however, did finally get a release in 7-inch, and there we go. And the B-side of that is Sun, Sea and Piracy, as I say, on the EMI label. It got to number 34 in the charts in the cassette form, and the album, the mini album, also got to number 58 in the charts, the singles charts. Because it was a mini album, it wasn't eligible for the albums. The next single came out, which is a similar type song called Work, and this got to number 62. Not as good as the C30, C60, C90 Go, but it's still not a bad rhythmic type track. The Bow Wow Wow sound was Burundi drums with the bass up in the forefront. It's almost like a strumming the bass, and the guitar had like a spaghetti western type guitar. Unfortunately, by the end of 1980, although they had minor success, they were dropped by EMI and they were taken up by RCA. And the first single to come out on RCA was Prince of Darkness, and this is really good with twangy guitar, and Annabella's vocals are really good in this as well. Whenever they're talking about Prince of Darkness and she's singing bad, it's bad, and it's really good song, and it managed to get to number 58. The next single in 81 came out, and it is Chihuahua, and this is beautiful as well. As her vocals, again, I think are really good. The backing vocals are excellent as well. It creates that almost spaghetti westerny type sound. Excellent. It's the closest thing I will say is Adam and the Ants, Kings of the Wild Frontier. This, however, only reached number 81, but they did release their debut album for RCA, and it's Sea Jungle, Go Join Your Gang, yeah, City All Over, Go Ape Crazy. I got that right. Yeah, brilliant album. It starts off with Jungle Boy, which was a single as well, which I'll show in a minute. I'm a TV Savage, which is really catchy, as is Golly Golly Gold Buddy. King Kong, beautiful song. Orangutans, great. Hello Daddy, I'll Sacrifice You. Really strong album. But as you can see, this cover is like a pastiche of Manet's Déjeuner sur l'herbe. Annabella's mum was absolutely furious, considering she was only 14, 15 actually whenever this photograph was taken. But Malcolm McLaren, as any publicity is good publicity, and this took the album up to number 26 in the charts, and I think it stayed in the charts for about 25 weeks or so. So it served its purpose, but they did re-release it with a different cover, and this is the alternate cover, which yeah, I think is just as good a cover as well. And there's the B-side cover, or the back cover. Exactly the same songs, exactly the same running order. And in 1982 another single was taken from it, and it's Go Wild in the Country, and they go back to this picture again, and this went up to number 7 in the charts, so they had their first major success. This is an absolutely brilliant single. It's one of the best singles from 1982, absolutely fantastic. And the fourth single to come from that album was Sea Jungle, and this is a real good rhythmic track. It's almost got like a Paul Simon Graceland feeling to it. That sound, it's almost African, it's absolutely brilliant. And this unfortunately only got to number 45 in the charts. But also in 1982 they released a cover of, I'm not too sure did the original, is I Want Candy, and this was a minor success in America. This is catchy as hell, and I believe this was on MTV quite a bit. There's a video of them, I think, on the beach doing this. It's a really good song. It's not their best, it's one of their worst singles for me, but I still do like it. But it also got into the top 10. And then we have a reissue of this song here called Louis XIV. Now this song featured on the Your Cassette Pet album, but this one is re-recorded for RCA. Now this is where it gets very confusing. Two singles with exactly the same picture sleeve. This is the RCA one, I don't have the EMI one, I'll show that now. Now the RCA one is a re-recorded version, and you may be able to see there that it says re-recorded. It doesn't say re-recorded on the EMI, and that's the original Malcolm McLaren version. Now both failed the chart, but what makes it even more confusing is that two albums were released in 82, and they were both compilation albums, and they were both called I Want Candy. So there's this one on RCA, which is I Want Candy. It's got the re-recorded version of Louis XIV, a couple of B-sides, the 12-inch of Go Wild in the Country, and a few others from the Sea Jungle album. And this one called I Want Candy on EMI, which features the whole of the Your Cassette Pet album. However, it doesn't feature the original version of Louis XIV, which was just released on EMI as a single. It features the re-recorded version. And I don't understand why, and I don't understand why I Want Candy was on this, because it's an RCA song. But both failed. No, this one actually failed to chart. This one did get a minor placing in the chart. This one is actually called Original Recordings in Other Territories, but both are absolutely essential. Probably this is more essential because this is the album with the My Cassette Pet on it. And whenever you actually listen to some of these songs, you wonder how they get away with it. Sexy Eiffel Towers, for example, she's only 14 singing it, and the moans and groans and so forth, just I wonder how they did get away with it, but they did. But both essential albums, especially this one, although I really do like this, is a really good comp. Okay, two more singles to show from the EMI in 1982 to capitalise on their success, and that's a Dutch version of Louis XIV with a picture of Your Cassette Pet on the back, and a cover of Fools Rush In, which was a song I think Glenn Miller did. It's very good. Both, that one there is also on the I Want Candy album. Then in 1983 they released a brand new single on RCA, and it is Do You Wanna Hold Me, and this is fantastic. And same type of sound though, but a little bit more poppy, and this got to number 47 in the charts, and it should have done so much better. It was the only single to be released from this album here, and this is When the Going Gets Tough, the Tough Get Going. This is absolutely brilliant. Aphrodisiac, the opener, is almost like a swing type song, and it's really, really good. Roustabout, I remember seeing them do that live on one of the TV shows back in the day. Fantastic song. Man Mountain is really, really good. Lonesome Tonight is excellent, and probably the catchiest song they ever did was What's the Time, Hey Buddy. Brilliant album, but it failed to chart. And in 1983 they were touring America, which took its toll, and I think at the end of the year they actually sacked Annabella, and they more or less dissolved after that. So what happened was that Annabella stayed with RCA and released a single called Don't Dance with Strangers in 1985. Completely different look for the girl, and a completely different sound as well. It's contemporary, it's of its time, slightly dated, but I actually do quite like it. And then she released a single, a copy or a cover of Fever, the old Peggy Lee song, and this was actually produced by Jim Lee of Slade. An album also came out called Fever as well, and it features another Jim Lee production, a cover of School's Out, the Alice Cooper song. The rest of this is okay, but it is dated in sound. But it's not a bad album, but it's nowhere near the Bow Wow Wow stuff. I'm glad Bow Wow Wow actually did split up, because they had 3 albums really sounding very, very similar. They didn't expand their sound too much, so if they were to carry on they'd have to do something drastic just to change. The next for Annabella was a couple of CD singles that she released in 1994, I believe. The first is Car Sex, and the second is Do What You Do. These were minor hits. They're dancey type songs. Not bad, but not brilliant. And I believe that she is touring again with Bow Wow Wow, her version. Lee Gorman has a version as well, so there's 2 versions of Bow Wow Wow. But if you're going to get a compilation CD, probably the best one to get is the Best of Bow Wow Wow from 1996, and this features songs from the EMI and the RCA years. Plus it also has the song Where's My Snake, which was featured in the 1983 film or 84 film Scandalous with Pamela Stevenson and Sir John Gielgud. I've never seen the film, it looks terrible, but there is a performance that they do, a cameo performance, and it's really, really good, and I might actually link that below for Where's My Snake. So yeah, Bow Wow Wow, really do enjoy them. They just released enough music for me to keep it nice and fresh, and they didn't go past their sell by date. So that's me for now. I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope to have another video quite soon. All the best now. Bye bye.